Hey, it's Joe Amoya, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. The other day I received a question on one of the blogs. It was a simple question, one line that simply said, Joe, how long will a guy wait for sex before he runs away? And I thought, you know what a great question. It's such a great question, I'm going to make it in today's video. So here's my take on it. Now, before we get into that, we need to understand, again, there's a difference between boys and men. The boys are the guys who just simply want to get laid. They want what they want when they want it. They could care less about you, your morals, your standards, your desires, your ability to need to want to feel safe. They could care less about that. And they also know how to get what they want. They know how to take you out, tell you look beautiful, tell you you're sexy, blow all smoke up your ass, take you to the local restaurant, get some wine in you, start nibbling on that magical spot. You know that spot right here, right? Where they start nibbling on it, right? And this gives you chills, and next thing you know, your pennies are on the floor and his penis is in your vagina. Okay? That's how it works. It's not a secret anymore. Sorry to burst the bubble. But you need to understand there's also the guys who are the men, who are the gentlemen. And I know you may believe that they're scarce out there and that they don't exist, but they are out there. And those are the guys who say, you know what? I have no problem waiting a little time if that's what you need, because I respect you as a woman, and ultimately I want a relationship with you. And if we develop and build a solid relationship, we're going to get there. And if we're the right couple, then that part of our life will be fine. So a guy has no problem with that. A man has no problem with that. And he actually looks at it kind of like an investment. And he knows that, you know what, if I invest a little bit of my time up front, ultimately it's going to pay dividends. And when it pays dividends, then you know what, everything's going to be fine. That's the way a man acts. So a man will stick around for a little time. Now, that's different for every guy, just like it's different for every woman. How long a guy is willing to invest and wait until things pay dividends is really up to him. Now, I can tell you that when you are clear on what your standards are, and what your boundaries are, and how long it will be before you want to be intimate with a guy, if it's 5 dates, if it's 5 weeks, if it's 6 months, if it's until you're married. When you are clear on that and you communicate that to a guy and give him the ability to decide whether he wants to participate or not, then ultimately he's going to show you his true colors. So, for instance, you know, when I met my wife, we had a conversation, and, you know, because we were both looking for a relationship. And ultimately we decided that, you know what, we don't need to jump there right yet. Okay, we both want to go there, and it's an important part of a healthy relationship, but we want to see if it's worth going there. And the more we dated each other and the more we got to know each other and the more she felt safe and comfortable, ultimately we were able to cross that barrier. And when we did, it was a beautiful experience. And that's the way it works. So you need to communicate to your man and let him know. Now, I always say is that if it's in your mind, it's just a couple of dates or a couple of weeks, you know, and I'm talking like 2-3 weeks, there's really no need to kind of have that conversation, because a real man, if he's not going to hang out a couple of weeks, then he's not worth your time and energy. So you need to be clear on that. But the bottom line is that as long as a guy feels that it's going to pay dividends and the communication is clear and he's an active and willing participant in the decision, then the right guy will stick around as long as he's on the same page as you. And I know it sounds simple, but it's really how it is. So there is no magic number. There is no, you have to sleep with a guy by this date or by this week or by this month. It really is different for each couple and for each individuals. But the bottom line is for you to get clear, to stand in your power, to communicate and to live that. Okay? Because one of the biggest mistakes I see many of the members of our GPS for Love community is they say, you know what, I'm not going to sleep with a guy for 2 months. And 2 weeks later, they're doing the horizontal mambo. I had a conversation with someone a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, you know what, 2 months. And sure enough, about 3 or 4 dates in, we did it. I'm like, what happened? And her line was, it just happened. And I go, wait, it doesn't just happen, okay? Let's stop the bullshit, okay? It doesn't, you're not just, you know, standing there having a conversation, your pants drop, his pants drop, his penis gets erect and finds its way into your private part. That's not, it doesn't just happen like that. It happens because you want it to happen on some level. Now, maybe there's a battle between, the mind and your heart, whatever it may be. Is that, is that part of you that, I really don't want to do this, but I really do. And then ultimately, which part wins. And that's okay, but you just need to be honest with yourself. But the more clear you are on your boundaries, on your standards, on when you want to cross that line, and how you communicate that effectively to the guy, that ultimately will give him the opportunity to decide if he wants to participate and if he wants to run away. And if he does, guess what? He's doing you a favor, because he's not the right man for you. And I promise you, if you stand in your boundaries, you stand in your power, and you're clear in your communication, you will find that right guy. It's simply a matter of time. And one of the ways you're going to recognize him is because you're going to see how easy it is for him to respect your boundaries and to work with you and to be together and to develop that relationship you desire and deserve in and out of the bedroom. So, want to hear from you. Know this is one of those controversial subjects. Everybody's got an opinion on it. So, I want to know what you think. How do you decide? Do you believe that guys, got to get laid within so many dates and you put out? And does that lead to the result you want? Do you hold off, you don't communicate to it, and that causes guys to run away? Remember, there's no right or wrong. We're simply trying to shine light on the truth and give you the skills and the strategies and the tools so you can create that awesome, amazing relationship with a guy who loves, honors, and respects you, again, in and out of the bedroom. So go ahead, put your questions, comments, and feedback in the box below. As always, honor and privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much love.